Hey lovelies, in this video I'm going to share something near and dear to my heart in this season, especially after the last few months where I have moved through some unexpected life happenings that kept me super close to home for the whole summer, and that is just some very simple tips for how to stay grounded, safe, and resourced in the tougher, more trying or unexpected seasons of life. They happen to all of us, whether it's a big or little trauma, a crisis, a deep grief, a chapter of fear, or just an air of that familiar solemn, or anything in between and on the spectrum of these things. Maybe you can't even quite put your finger on the feeling, but it's those general darker or haphazard seasons and emotions, the days where all you can sense is a taste of too fast, too soon. The quote-unquote harsher elements and edges that are actually just such an important part of who we are as whole and fluid people. I find, especially as women, the pieces of our days, months, and years that go most unnamed. So as I take you through a beautiful day of uplifting eats and some of my favorite mood and energy foods for these kinds of seasons, I'm also going to spill my tea on tips for tough times, what it means to take good enough care when you are in it, keeping it simple, small, and safe. So first off, let's talk about the magical mood-boosting plant stuff. The herbs that have the power and passion to safely wisp up our dopamine responses without wreaking havoc on our bodies. I would say this cute little corner of health and healing has me totally enthralled lately. I am an herbal boo-boo at heart, but since some relative crises have popped up this summer in my home, I've been invited to dive into this corner of my herbal cabinet with a lot more purpose and curiosity than ever. I just want to start by saying, though, the world of mood-boosting herbs or cognition-enhancing plants and even nootropics or libido enhancers for general life effervescence, it is so vast, beautifully big. And there's a lot to discern and learn on a very individualized level. So please always do that. Always rotate your mood modulating plants. And with that said, these are just a few items that I have personally tinkered with and really loved during this season. And they all center around my morning cup, which is usually a high-grade matcha, genmaicha, chai, or cocoa. If you tune into my past videos, you'll see this is definitely a ritual for me, and lately I've played with this even more when it comes to mood herbs. So here's an example of what I've been doing in the morning lately. I've got soy extra and a matcha powder and a beautiful vegan collagen that I add to my Vitamix. I've been really enjoying this soy because it has added vitamins and minerals that play a really crucial role in overall vitality and nervous system functions, and it's just super nutritive, super dense, which has felt really nice in the morning when my appetite isn't quite here yet, but I want to feel somewhat nourished. And then I have typically the last few weeks and months been layering in different things like saffron. I've also used mucuna. These are incredible for mild depression, anxiety, those feelings of overwhelm, and then some libido and functional feminine items like shatavari, euphoria powder, dates, pumpkin seed butter, and there are numerous studies around saffron in particular that prove its effectiveness for mood, especially relating to depression. So these herbs, along with items like amla powder, plant-based collagen, these nut butters, Moon Juice's cosmic cocoa, shilajit, these have been big staples that have really instantly uplifted me. Even on those days where I've been pretty pressed for time or feeling stressed, I try not to negotiate this piece of my day because it gives me a sense of calm, stability. It roots me into a sense of routine, even if there is an external element of chaos or things that are out of my control. And even if it means heating up my drink like 1,000,000 times, which I have been known to do in a day. And so that brings me to my next tip. Hold on to just one ritual. Just pick one thing you will always do that keeps you feeling like you, whether that is a morning cup of warmth or juicing, which is one of my favorites, and I will definitely get into what I am making here. Or maybe for you that ritual is very basic or quick, like showering, getting dressed for the day, grounding your feet, doing a meditation, taking a walk, moving yourself in a deeply embodied way, playing really great music, reading, dancing, sweating, whatever it is for you. Hold on tight to just one ritual. Okay, so this is a newer in my repertoire juice that, no joke, feels like the most powerful juice I have ever concocted in the way of gut and histamine healing. Each ingredient is intentionally and synergistically tailored towards very gently but effectively cleansing, repairing, and restoring a damaged gut, and also ultimately regaining those proper histamine and immune response functions. These two issues are really hot right now, especially the last few years, and gut dysfunction and MCAS or histamine issues are close to my heart and body, as they were these original complex heavy hitters I dealt with when I came down with chronic illness issues. And they also happen to be the two systems that can slyly show relative symptom creep for me when I'm under these particular seasons of stress or strife. So if you're in this kind of boat, this juice is a gorgeous companion when you are in those tougher times. But of course, intelligent living foods, I find they do not discriminate. So this recipe is going to be supportive, and it's going to scavenge whatever is going on with you on an immune and mood level, because these specific foods are so multifaceted. When I first tried this juice, I had a major elimination while simultaneously feeling like I was just on a bliss cloud. There was this intuitive sense for me that it was biochemically changing me on some sort of deeper level. And a lot of juices and raw foods, they have this essence, but I'm telling you, there was something just different about this juice. Like, if you used it religiously, it could be life-changing. That is just the message I received, so passing it along. So yes, this is a mood food with extra special benefits, particularly if you're dealing with an overgrowth of yeast, because this is lower in natural sugars while balancing gut flora. It also packs a punch if you're dealing with something like H. pylori or have had a history of any foodborne illnesses or parasites, which can change the microbiome and your life dramatically for years and even decades. My personal story with Campylobacter is probably a story for another time, but side note, it was one of many things that probably set the stage for major gut dysfunction and ultimate mystery illnesses. So this baby is celery, green apple, cranberries, fennel bulbs, macrot or kaffir lime, rosemary, and sage. You can throw something in like ginger, mint, any kind of aromatic healing herbs that you love would be great with this juice as well. So my next tip here is to orient and ground yourself into presence and into a sense of safety by way of slipping into your senses. And yeah, spoiler, you could really stack these tips up just by making a daily juice. Orienting is a beautiful, slow, somatic tool and approach that I recommend doing more research around if you are hypervigilant or always turned on in fight or flight mode. And it involves just curiously and slowly engaging with your environment to source a sense of security, a sense of calm, a sense of settled. The way I like to ritualize orienting and grounding into safety is typically via the senses, and this simple practice will eventually expand your sensitivity, your ability to feel yourself in your body. Really key to think slowness and lusciousness over a to-do item or a button that you push to be a better person. Building your sensitivity is an evolving, forgiving, ongoing, and sometimes very private practice that requires no specific guidelines for the when, the where, and the how, other than accepting an invitation into sensing and feeling deeper. It's a slow simmering massage towards the rich integration of a regulated nervous system, as opposed to something like, say, a cold plunge or plant medicine, which can for some of us be a well-meaning explosion to the nervous system. So I didn't actually shoot this to fit what I'd be talking about here, but some of this kind of freaky deaky stuff like smelling my herbs and feeling the textures of fennel and celery in my hands, hearing the layered sounds of this crisp knife slicing through the produce, feeling the way my voice reverberates inside every nook and cranny of my body when I sing, tickling my face with fennel leaves, which felt really good, honestly. This is all wholly representative of just slipping into the senses. And at its core, a resensitization of your body is the most empowered, enriched road towards self-healing. Really let that sink in. What ways can you tune into your senses and your sensitivity in deeper, daily ways? How can it ground and root you in a more full, truthful presence, especially when you are moving through a really challenging or disorienting season? Intense. Ooh. So this next one might seem obvious. It may not always be something we want to thrust ourselves into if times are really tough, but making a point to do something that is somewhat mindless and just organically puts you in a flow state. This is the you that can drop out of the head and be fully in the moment with something that you love. The version of you that gets to touch your childlike self again. An example of this for me is shopping and trying on clothes, and I recognize and appreciate that this is usually more about the act of getting out, browsing, sensing, touching, and feeling into my body rather than going crazy buying things. In fact, when I am getting out like this for the purpose of a little flow hug, I don't buy much, if anything. If you think that going out and having a you moment in the dressing room, trying on some fun different versions of you is not accessible because you can't buy anything, please think again. Go get your flow. Open your heart a little, dance, feel your body, walk out empty-handed if you have to. Work your no thanks muscle. You're allowed to be picky and slow, and you're allowed to have fun. And following this thread of flow and fluidity, take intentional time to move your body in the way it wants to move. This is so nuanced and individual. Moving the body the way it wants to move can be anything from the rawness of wailing into a pillow and punching the couch in private, to doing a weird flowy movement in front of a dressing room mirror in a bikini that looks like a couch. Hey, thank you. Or maybe it's sprints in your driveway or cartwheels or getting on your yoga mat with your eyes closed and really gently following the flow of feeling, letting whatever emotion or sensation that is here with you move you. How does your body want to move as that emotion, as that feeling, as that sensation, or maybe that role that you are currently in? Maybe it's rolling yourself down a grassy hill or drop kicking a soccer ball in a muddy field like you were in the 5th grade again.
Then I realized all is within. Are your thoughts friend or foe? It's your choice which way you go. What if happy can be built? Tuning into all that's good.
turmeric, ginger, lemon, cayenne, and black pepper. Little doses. Ooh. A little chamomile lavender lemonade chaser. Lemon, pear, chamomile, and lavender extract. Ooh, what a beautiful juice. A closing aura or ethos you might consider as you digest these tips, or however you are navigating tougher times, I ask you to first remember the importance of just being in your season. Whatever it is, whatever it's bringing, remember that feeling is first. Calibrating the energy of what you want as you show up in life is so important, and I invite you to do that with every little mention in this video. How do I want this to feel? What kind of energy am I bringing to this activity or meal or movement? What's the vibe I most desire to have and feel as I do this? But this kind of intention and calibration of energy must be preceded by noticing, acknowledging, and deeply honoring what's here now on a body level. What is really here inside you right now? So rather than going headfirst into tweaking your mindset or even manipulating your breath or your nervous system, I'm talking about tuning into what is raw in your heart, your throat, your tummy, your hips, and your body right now, and allowing yourself to feel it first without bypassing by way of wellness hacks. And BT dubs, this video was created in the clearing, in the breathing room of my recent tough times. This video was brought to you by multiple recent mental breakdowns, sleepless nights and weeks, and raw emotional unravelings, some ugly stuff, which were all fully felt and meant to be. And these words and foods and moods were the things that supported me most. I hope you've had such a beautiful summer and that this video brings you solace and maybe some solid, simple, safe ideas for gently moving through a trickier life moment or season. I love the motto that, hey, you can do hard things. We can do hard things. Yes. So good. But sometimes perhaps the hardest thing we can do is turn towards ourselves and our emotions very slowly, very gently, and very authentically. Please do let this video be your permission slip for experiencing a bit more of that if your body's calling for it. See you soon.